waiting on Cindy Bass right now. Hey, how are you? It's great to see your mother-in-law. Yeah, we had dinner. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled. She's never been to one, so
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Oh, we got Mo.
Yep, and Marianne.
Ah, we got all the heavy hitters.
Pretty sure we're not good at like
It's
sounding
the
out big
first one to
mics.
hate this one.
It's great.
It's important.
Yeah.
I got strategically why we want to do this. So, where's Jesse? Is he gonna get on stage?
I know, really. I guess that's not too. Test work sound all right?
Yeah.
So we're going to get started in a second. We're just doing one more mic test. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Totally. I'm like,
Wow, that's
red
perfect.
dot.
I had some of that in mine years too, and I took it out. I was like, we don't need to do canvas here. I know. Broad strokes, broad strokes. No, for real.
1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Hey, hey. Is that better? Oh, look at that. Oh, all right. My check. 2, 2. Partly cloudy. Oh, I'm walking away.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. You're fine. No, go back.
You sure? You promise? And, yeah. I'm going to Six Flags.
So what are we doing? It's only 4 minutes. So, Clinton says that Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Angel Rodriguez. I'm the Executive Director of the Philadelphia Land Bank, and I am very happy to invite you all and have you celebrate the first groundbreaking in the 8th Councilmatic District. This is a multi-year project in terms of Turn the Key. We started this a while back under MPI, now with Home. Very happy to see that Councilwoman Bass has joined us in terms of developing much needed affordable housing for those citizens that work in Philadelphia. Without much further ado, I'm going to introduce the Mayor of Philadelphia, Madam Cherelle Parker.
Thank you so very much, Angel, and all of the team members who are present from Planning and Development. Let me start by saying that Malcolm X was often quoted as stating that of all of our studies, it is history that is best qualified to reward its research. Philadelphia, you hear me say out loud to you as your mayor very often that when those of us who are elected to public office tell you that we understand what the problem is, particularly as it relates to affordability and housing, it's not enough for us to just say we understand. Our job is to fix it. Council President Kenyatta Johnson, fix it, Council Member Cindy Bass. And we are here today because this announcement is a part of the solution. But the history is important because we didn't just get here by happenstance. We had to be intentional when we followed up on the vision of our former council president, Darrell Clarke, who received some data about the number of Philadelphians. Council President Johnson, I don't know if you remember this, but they were leaving Philadelphia and they were moving to Bucks, Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery counties. And we wanted to know what was the profile, what was the demographic of the constituency that sought to leave our city. That's when we understood that the message was about both affordability, but also how essential workforce housing was for us here in the city. And it was actually 2021 when this program was conceived, but in 2022, the legislation was passed, and in 2023, that is when the formal and official groundbreaking for projects began. I want to give you some stats, and this is important, and Angel Rodriguez, the leader of our land bank, give Angel a huge round of applause. We don't get here, Angel, without you. Number of units approved for development, 1,118 units. Homes completed, sold, or under contract, 494 units. This is the stat that's most important to me. One that's significantly important is 149, 30% of these properties have been sold to employees in the city of Philadelphia, of the city in Philadelphia. That's important. And we have 33 units under contract right now for the same constituency. Another 200 units are under construction right now. And Council President Johnson and Councilmember Bass, we do have 424 units. These are projects seeking permits and approvals. Mr. President, I just wanted to note that for the record. What does this mean? Turn the Key Mortgages committed $29.5 million to make these projects available. What's the average Turn the Key mortgage award amount? $71,000. What's the average senior mortgage for a Turn the Key unit? $197,307. And here's the shocker, Philadelphia, when you ask, because ultimately it comes down to the bottom line, especially for me when I've been looking at how much people are paying a month for rent. I want you to think about this. As of April 2026, the average rent for a 3-bedroom apartment, forget building generational wealth, forget having access to the opportunity to own your own bricks in Philadelphia, to rent an apartment, 3-bedroom, it's approximately $2,000 to $2,933 a month. That is to rent. That's with units that have 1,100 square feet or larger. That is not sustainable. Philadelphia has always been a city that had a high rate of home ownership, but as we've seen the affordability crisis go up and salaries and income not remain in tandem with interest rates, and quite frankly, access to the opportunity to borrow, this program becomes essential. How does it actually work? Picture this, Council President. The city of Philadelphia decides that it's going to use city-owned land. Can you believe this? Land that the city of Philadelphia has, and it is vacant. So we then work with members of the private sector in the development community, and I do have to give a super huge shout out to the BIA, because they were right there with Council President Clark when this program was developed, and they helped to get it off the ground. Council member Cindy Bass, they told me that this is the very first turn-the-key development in the 8th Councilmanic District, and I think that's a big thing for us to celebrate. And it's really important to me because, you know, Shirley's Little World was right there in Germantown and Erie, and I don't know how many of you are really familiar with this community, but there was a time when any and everything you wanted you could get right on Germantown Avenue, but you needed this quality housing that is here. This is, in essence, how we motivate, inspire, and encourage people to choose Philadelphia and to choose this amazing community. To Councilmember Bass and Johnson, I want you to know that Council President Clark has to be right now proud of us all for taking the baton and making sure that while we have a seat at the table, we not only continue implementing the vision, but the work that we've done as partners with the historic $2 billion investment in housing via the HOME program to create 30,000 units of housing in the city through the building of new and the preservation of existing, in partnership with Kelvin Jeremiah and the Philadelphia Housing Authority's plan to create and preserve 20,000 units of deeply affordable housing. We are well on our way to seeing 50,000 units of housing in the city of Philadelphia, and I think that's something we should be proud of. I want to say to Jesse Lawrence and Angela Brooks, our Chief Housing Officer, and Jesse, who gives leadership to our Department of Planning and Development, thank you. You heard me mention Angel, but Dave Thomas is not here. Give Dave Thomas and PHDC, that amazing team, a round of applause. And finally, to Savetta Property Group. You have been one of the lead developers of turn-the-key homes in the city of Philadelphia. And I don't think people, and I want to say this out loud, I don't think people realize the small margins for developers on these projects. And Savetta, along with our other turn-the-key developers, guess what? They do this work right here, because they could go and build somewhere else and build market rate and earn much more with higher costs for the homes that they develop and sell. But here, it's clear that you do this more for the love of our city than to simply make money. And I want you to know that we appreciate that. Mike and Brennan, thank you. Wherever, give them a round of applause. Next, some misconceptions out there about what this means, Philadelphia. And as mayor, I will tell you, I don't have the ability to stop people from delivering misinformation about work and products that we offer here in the city. The only thing I can do is state for the record so that you know what the facts are related to this program. Few misconceptions. One, Turn the Key is not for rich people. Let me hear you all say, Turn the Key is not for rich people. The program is for working Philadelphians that want to try to get a piece of the American dream of home ownership. In addition to that, it's a lot of talk around this thing that we reference as AMI, but I want to give you an example of this area median income conversation. In Philadelphia, this is important because what I want you to think about is industries where we are hemorrhaging people and subject matter experts like teachers, like police officers, like firefighters, like City of Philadelphia government workers who eventually become members of District Council 33 and or 47. I want you to think about these numbers. For a family of 4, which could be 2 parents and 2 kids, the AMI is around $120,000. 120, and that sounds like a big salary. And it is much better than some people may find themselves placed today. But I want you to think about this from the perspective that this could be 2 teachers each making $60,000 apiece. And those 2 teachers have 2 kids. They have daycare. If they're like me, they have a whole lot of student loans. And they have credit card debt. And let us not think about parents. I'm not sure how many of you have ever served as a caregiver for an elder parent that you find later on in life. They now have to move in with you, and you have the honor and privilege of supporting your parents who raised you. Or it could be one person making a nice salary. But guess what? They have 3 kids. And that means daycare, aftercare, sports, loans, and then the list goes on. Don't talk about food and the cost of a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk and some cheese. Turn the Key is meant to respond to the needs of that constituency, not to pit the have-nots against those who have just a little bit. And so with that data, because again, you can't stop people from saying what they say, but we can ensure that you have the facts. The current home buyer average annual income for Turn the Key is $54,340. $54,340. That's the annual income for a person who is the beneficiary of a Turn the Key property. More than 60% of the Turn the Key homes, guess who they went to? They went to single buyers looking to buy their first home. Over 60% of them are women, and over 30% of them work for the city of Philadelphia. And extremely important, they have an average credit score for buyers that is 620. I want you to tell me what prime lending institution you can walk into a bank and complete an application with a credit score that could be as low as 620, and you get access to a mortgage. In addition to that, I want you to think about this stat again. It's important. Average monthly mortgage payment for a 3-bedroom home here with Turn the Key is $1,450. You can have a house for $1,450 a month. Don't forget about that rent I told you about earlier that went from $2,000 up to $2,900. You can be an owner of a home at $1,450 a month. And while we have private development all over Philly, we know what those numbers look like. $1,400 is more than amazing. The last thing that's been said about these homes that becomes a tad bit annoying for me as mayor is that the cost of the homes. It's been said that the cost of the homes are around $280,000. And yes, it's true. The Turn the Key home started $280,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, new construction. But this is what people often overlook about this program, and this is where the facts and the data matters. The city provides. Let me hear you all say, the city provides a $75,000 mortgage buy down plus a $10,000 Philly First home down payment and settlement assistance grant. And we have preferred lenders, and give the lenders a huge round of applause, all of them. This doesn't happen without you. They work with us and give additional help. So that $280,000 is reduced to a mortgage under $200,000, and that is unheard of for new construction, not just here in the city of Philadelphia, but I challenge you to go to any state on the East Coast and try to find a newly built house for $200,000 a year. When I meet people across the city whose lives have been changed by Turn the Key, they begin to tell us how proud they are about being self-sufficient and being able to own their own home and have something more than debt to pass down to the next generation in their family. That's how you put people on a path to self-sufficiency, and that's how we can make sure that we close the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Council President, a lot of people can do social media clips identifying that affordability is a crisis here in the city of Philadelphia, but it was our First Lady, Michelle Obama, who said two words that I hold in my core. And no matter how people criticize what it is that we do, ultimately, for those of us who are elected to public office, we have a responsibility to do what she said, and that is do something. Be architects of solutions and not expert articulators of problems. So when people tell you that we have an affordability crisis right here in the city of Philadelphia with housing, you tell them that we're doing something. We're proffering solutions, and we're doing it in neighborhoods across the city, no matter your race, class, socioeconomic status, zip code, religion, sexual orientation, or identity. Philadelphia is on the way, and home ownership is a priority for us. Thank you all to all of the partners, and congratulations. I now want to introduce the lady who, because the city can have the greatest vision. We can want to do anything that we can as it relates to housing and development, but all land use decisions are determined and decided by those district council members. And as a former district council person in the 9th District, I know it's a responsibility that I held dear. And so I want you to give a round of applause to Council Member Cindy Bass.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a beautiful day today. Would you not agree? Mike, how are you? Why are you sitting down there? Shouldn't you be up here? Oh, that's your mom. Hi, Mom. How you doing? Well, listen, you're so sweet. Thank you. Move it up, move it down, down. Okay, all right. Well, listen, I just really wanted to say, I'm going to be brief. Just a couple of things. Number one, this is a neighborhood that I hold near and dear to my heart. I grew up not too far from here at 28th and Allegheny, and so I consider this as part of the neighborhood. We used to run through these streets, have friends in this neighborhood. So I know the folks here. I know the people here. I know the culture here. I know that this is going to be something that is going to be really beneficial for everyone in this community. And I'm really, really hopeful and excited that folks from the neighborhood will be able to buy into what will be a new construction home. I mean, I don't know if you've ever lived in a new construction home, and I start by saying I have not, but someone I know very close to me just recently moved into a new apartment, and I have to say I was ready to put my house on the market right away because it was just beautiful with the finishes, the affordable luxury that our mayor is always talking about, the affordable luxury. It's real, and it's happening in our city, and it's happening for those in our communities who might have thought just a moment ago that this was something out of reach, that this was not something that was attainable. And through the work of council, through the leadership of our mayor, we have really been able to bring it to fruition with folks like the Savetta Property Group. Thank you so much, the Tomasettis, for all of your hard work, for all that you have done. You know, we couldn't have done it without partners like you making it happen. Thank you so much. And also, yes, let's give them a round of applause. Let's give them a round of applause. And also a big thank you to our hardworking partners in the administration, Angel Rodriguez. I beat Angel up on a regular, so I'm so happy to give him his flowers. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. Angel, Jesse, I wish David was here because he's another one. That David and I go back for like 25 years. And on the regular, I'm on his phone. We're going at it. But we're going at it because we care. If you don't care, it's easy to just say, oh, whatever, I don't, on to the next project. But when you care about communities, when you care about people, it shows. And this is a project that's going to show. So I'm just excited that it's happening here in the 8th District finally. I'm looking forward to more of the same. And so there's going to be a lot more of these kinds of projects with the help of our hardworking partners. And I'm here for it. So God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bass. Thank you for allowing us to do this project here. This will not be the last, and I'm hoping to have enough projects happening in the 8th so that you kind of get sick of us. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce one of our early adopters and real proponents of Turn the Key. Before NPI, the council president is bought into workforce housing, and we have a long history of working together. It's my pleasure to introduce Council President Kenyatta Johnson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I mean, this is definitely a celebration, and it's a long ways from South Philly, Madam Mayor, but Member Bass said I'm in Tioga, close to Nicetown, showing love to Dogtown, Haynes Street, Brickyard, Somerville. Got family from the Ville and got family from Haynes Street. But, today it's an honor to be here standing alongside of our mayor. And listen, every mayor has an agenda, right? Has priorities, right? And here's a mayor who said, listen, I'm going to invest a total of $2 billion to address the issue of housing inequality here in the city of Philadelphia. So could we give her a round of applause, because that's work, right? She could have picked a lot of other issues that were much easier, right, that you wouldn't get pushback on, right? But she decided to address the issue of housing inequality and housing equity, and so I want to acknowledge you for making sure this is part of your agenda, and I also want to acknowledge my colleague, who's always hardworking, day in and day out throughout the 8th Councilmanic District. That's Councilmember Cindy Bass. Give her a round of applause. I want to acknowledge Antonine Fullard, who deals with her development and planning, and the whole staff, because this is the beginning of us moving in partnership to move the 8th Councilmanic District forward. And she has my 110% support in any type of resource that she needs to move the 8th Councilmanic District forward. And so I'm just honored to be here, right? The mayor summed everything up. Listen, we have to make sure that this is a city where everyone has an opportunity to live, irregardless of their checkbook and or their pocketbook. When I come to these types of events, I remind individuals that, yes, Harvard educated, yes, degree from Penn, yes, degree from Mansfield, but I blew up. My family comes from Martin Luther King Housing Project in South Philadelphia, right? And so I understand that when we went from renting a home to actually becoming a first-time home buyer, and yes, I'm one of them first-time home buyers with the new construction, with the finishing touches, with the roof deck, and all the bells and whistles. The wife helped out with that, but that's a different story. Everybody in the city of Philadelphia should also have not only the opportunity, but the right to move in a high quality, as the mayor says, affordable luxury home. And that's what the work that the home program is doing. But also, listen, I can speak to the work that the Civetta Group has done in South Philadelphia. So to Brennan and Mike, let's give them both a round of applause. And I know the mayor said, Mike's supposed to be up here, but we know who's the power behind the throne. right? The word said, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So we understand where the direction is coming from. But we have several projects that we work together on with the Civetta Group in South Philadelphia. And also, Mike and Brendan has been helping me balance the issue of gentrification, to be quite frank with you, right? Making sure that when we have developers coming in and building, right, houses, right? And I believe a diverse community is a strong community, but I also believe that long-term residents have the opportunity to purchase a home where they live at. And that's Rabbit's Purchasing a Home initiative, Rabbit's Senior Housing, but they should have the opportunity to live with dignity in the neighborhood in which they are living in. And last but not least, the mayor says something that's critically important, what we try to educate people about, especially in the Point Breeze area of South Philadelphia, but I'm sure this is indicative around the city as a whole. The amount you pay for renting a property, you can be a homeowner. You just have to educate people and say, here are the resources that are available. And I see WSFS Bank, give them a round of applause, because it's the banks that come to the table and say, listen, we'll work with you, right, to help individuals become first-time home buyers. We'll take in consideration their credit scores. We'll take in consideration any other challenges that they may have and help them get to the level to become a first-time home buyer, but most importantly, help them build generational wealth. And so, again, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. My little big sis over here is making me proud that she's moving the 8th Councilmanic District forward. And to her and her team, keep up the good work and continue to make sure we stay on the ground and improving the quality of life of all the residents. Give a shout out to Angel Rodriguez. Angel, I see you back there. Call this guy this weekend after the Roots picnic, asking questions about addressing the issue of affordability and some green space lots in my district. And I want to say he's one of the hardest working individuals when it comes. I see Jesse over there as well, because Jesse oversees everything. Can we give Jesse Lawrence a round of applause as well? At the direction of the mayor, she said, this is a priority. We're going to make sure that we build these homes. And so 30,000 units, we will get done. And so I'm looking forward to continuing backing her plan to make sure we reach that goal. Thank you very much, everyone. One last thing. I used to come to Erie Ave, right? Germantown to Erie. No, it's called Eagles. Got nice ice. It'll be good. Thank you, y'all.
Thank you, Council President. Before I bring up this next person, I do want to take a moment to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all of the staff that we have at PHDC and the Land Bank, if we could give them a round of applause. That's our project managers, our clerks, our housing counselors, all the management, our attorneys. I have one attorney that had to go out for a brief moment. She's still working. She's laid up in bed. She's still writing contracts. They are so hardworking and dedicated, and I really just want to say thank you, because without them, we wouldn't be standing here. Next, I would like to thank all of the developers and the BIA and how they've supported us, because with Turn the Key, we also started the Minority Developer Program. And at the beginning, we wanted to solve that piece and that issue of diversity and equity on the business side. And we started a training program. It became a catalyst. And now I'd like to say thank you to all the leadership at the BIA and the UDA, the Urban Developers Association. They are now having this great program at Drexel. I think you're in your 3rd cohort. We've approved, of this 1,000 homes, over 200 homes are going to be built by Black and brown developers. So if we're dispelling, miscommunication, it's not just about developers coming in trying to make money, they're giving back. And with that, I'd like to introduce Brennan Tomasetti of Civetta Property Group, who's one of the main proponents of giving back.
Thank you, Angel. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Chivetta Property Group and Spruce Builders, thank you for being here as we prepare to break ground on another 22 Turn the Key homes here on Venango Street. The engagement and support we've encountered in this district has been incredible, and we sincerely appreciate the opportunity to partner to bring homes and life-changing opportunity to the people of this neighborhood and district. We hear two key things on rotation from our first-time home buyers as part of Turn the Key program. The first is, I never believed that homeownership would be possible for me. And the second is, I'm now paying less for a mortgage on a new construction 3-bedroom, 2-bath home than I was previously paying for rent. Home ownership is still the single greatest path to generational wealth in this country, and we are here today to make sure that Philadelphia families have access to that path. Turn the Key is an incredible program, and it requires a great deal of leadership and detailed work, as you've already heard, to make it possible. And with that, thank you to Mayor Sherelle Parker for your dedication to workforce and affordable housing in the city of Philadelphia. It means so much to us personally as a resident and as business owners that you continue to prioritize this work in a meaningful and consistent way. To Council President Johnson, who, as has already been said, was a strong supporter of this program since the very beginning, we appreciate your leadership and the role that you play as a driving force in this city. To Councilwoman Cindy Bass, thank you for welcoming us into your community, for fighting for your constituents and believing that they deserve beautiful, high-quality homes that they can truly be proud of. We appreciate your trust in us. To the PHDC and Land Bank team, it can't be stated enough, they're always behind the scenes and sometimes on the firing line, making it all happen. Without this team, Turn the Key does not function. Thank you for your partnership and your dedication. And finally, to every member of our Chivetta Property Group and Spruce Builders team, thank you for the hard work that you put in and day out. Thank you for choosing to be a part of this mission. Each of you play an important role in making first-time homeownership a reality. Every single home represents a family whose future looks different because of the work that you do. Thank you.
So at this point, I'm going to ask everybody to join us as we do the ceremonial groundbreaking.